Okay, good morning, and nice to have you here, Gloria.
Thank you, Randy.
We talked about doing this a little while ago, and now we're going to have a little visit here about agriculture and some of the history that we have lived through. So first of all, before we get into that, maybe just tell us a little bit about your family that you have now.
I am married to David James. We have 4 children. 3 of them are married. And we have 10 grandchildren with another one on the way.
Wow.
And I come from a family of boys, and in this family, the girls are in the lead. We are married, and we live on a farm, grain farm.
Very good. Cool. So way back when you were working with me at Team Landmark, I'm just curious, do you remember what year it was when you started?
Yeah, it was in 1979.
Okay.
I was working in a coffee shop, and it was not great hours, and you had invited me to come and work for you one day if I ever wanted to, and I took you up on that.
Yeah, very good. Yes, it was very good. And so what was your role? I know you started actually with Landmark Industries probably, but
Yeah.
Well, how did that kind of develop from there?
That's actually a good question. For some reason, I had to move out of the ATCO trailer and got to move into the big office at Landmark Agro. And from there, I still continued on with the same, working for Landmark Industries, actually doing all the book work, payroll, and eventually got to be a truck dispatcher. I was a little bit not happy with being a data entry girl when we started working with computers. So I said I did not want to do that.
Okay.
So you enlarged my role.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so then, well, obviously we were very involved in ag, and then you ended up getting married to one of our customers, which was all very cool. Maybe just explain a little bit about agriculture from when you were with us at the business to on the farm. Just some highlights that come to mind.
Maybe just explain that again. What was farming like in those days?
Yeah, farming, like I know at work you were dealing with farmers there, but
Yep.
Just kind of curious how farming was then, and then kind of how it's evolved over these years.
Yeah, big difference. I married a man who had constantly skinned shins because he worked with a discer, and he would slide in there and he'd always get those shins wrecked. And now we deal with air seeders and planters. Huge. There's so many changes. When I think of we had this little Massey pull type combine. It was only one of them, but it was one of the combines. So there was still that. We swathed. We had small combines that were like, the pickup was maybe 10 feet or little, and clogging up, and the stone traps. Oh my goodness. So we now have, we do mostly straight cutting. We have gone completely away from flax and canola. Even the crops have changed. The combines, we now have the Claas Lexions. They're 40-foot headers, and yes, mostly straight cutting. Everything is bigger. Mm-hmm. We have a rogator. Yeah. We don't have that little pull type sprayer where you'd have to rely on the foam droppings and wonder where is my next line. We have GPS, and we have auto steer, and we have there's just so much. Everything is the technology now is incredible, has made a big change. We don't have nearly the amount of employees that we used to have because we just don't need to. We've gone from tandem trucks to B trains, and we have the grain carts that hold 2,000 bushels, and the amount of stopping. I used to feed family meals on the farm. We can't do that anymore. We have to move. We have a son, 2 sons who push.
Yeah.
So lots of changes.
Yeah.
Lots of changes.
Well, yeah, no, and it's as you know, I'm still involved in agriculture in some fashion, and yeah, the technology is incredible, which it is with pretty much every business and industry. But that is a big change. So I one question I was going to ask you. We talked a little bit about working with me and with us there. Are there some? I know you didn't like data entry. There are people that love data entry, as we know. But is there any things that kind of stick out that you enjoyed about just hanging out there with us and working?
Yeah, pretty much everything. I came to work for you pretty shy, and you sent me to courses, which I loved, and especially the Dale Carnegie. And even going with you and Brad, and it was so good. And people can't believe I was at one time shy, but I loved the people. I loved the people. When I think of the customers, when I think of the meeting, the reps, and working with you, I mean, it was a great place to work. There's just, I would say, when I think back on that time, what was it? It was the people.
Yeah, good.
Huge.
So one question I was going to ask you, I know you're a person of faith.
Yes.
And just how important is that to you?
I picked up some hitchhiker girls one day, and they said, "How would you define yourself?" And I said, "I am a child of God." It is everything. It is everything. We don't go through life without having some struggles, and I would say that there have been many since when I worked with you. I mean, my parents got divorced. I went to Bible school. I got married. David had cancer. We didn't know if we'd have children. Later on, he had cancer, or they thought he had cancer again. We have different family situations. In all of these, huge situations happened while I worked for you, and growth times, and they still are there. I trust in Christ. He's my all.
Very cool. Well, I can tell you when you worked with me there, I could tell it was important, and probably more important to you at that time than it was to me, but it's become a big part of my life as well. So it's very cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, probably I do exactly have some of those questions. What made you change, and what made it more important to you that your walk with Christ?
Well, probably the biggest change started when we started having children. And, till then it was important, but not the driving force. But once we started having children and they got old enough to get taught, it was something that both Lydia and I wanted to teach them, what we believed, right? So it's evolved. It's evolved over time, and it's a journey.
It is a journey.
And the journey can be great and the journey can be rough, but the ending is great.
I trust so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me here this morning. It's been a pleasure.